Ferrari's first electric prancing horse. Welcome to Mark and Pete. Now, Ferrari has finally gone electric, although at these prices, saving money on petrol might not be the main attraction. Yeah, this is Mark and Pete, two blokes with half an opinion. Now, here's our first thought.
There once was a prancing horse that was seeking a new fuel source. It plugged in its hooves, then made electric moves, and now it's a new galloping force. Oh, yes.
Maybe.
Ferrari's first ever electric car has fetched a staggering $40 million. That's right. Yes, $40 million. But to be clear, this was in a charity sale, setting a new record for a new vehicle sold at auction. Now, Mr. Pete, I don't know where you scraped up all the money for this, but the sale of the Ferrari Luce, this is the vehicle that now is Ferrari's first electric vehicle, is surely in your possession, is it not?
Sadly not. I mean, this reminds me, this new Ferrari coming out, of the Bible verse, Luke chapter 12, verse 15. Take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. Now, although I, of course, take that to heart, Mr. Mark, I think the verse that he's missed out there is sort of a coda or two, saying, but it's great to have a new Ferrari. I think that's what, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? Owning a Ferrari, it's the name, it's the history of it, and they quite often are beautiful cars. Now, I haven't seen this one, so I can't comment because there are some real lemons along the way that are not in any way beautiful. But most Ferraris are beautiful. But you still got the name, you've got the power.
Yes.
Maybe we'll come on to the statistics in a moment. You've got the power, let me tell you, even more than He-Man in the movie. You've got the power, but you certainly haven't got it that lightweight. It's an electric car, but you've got the first Ferrari that's electric, so there's all that kudos as well. Yeah, who wouldn't want to own it? But for $40 million, it had better be worth it.
Well, to be fair, let's set the scene. Of course, obviously, this is the first one, not necessarily what the mass car production rate will be, but nevertheless, it will command a hefty fee. Now, the Luce faced a little bit of a backlash when it was first launched a few months ago. Now, some commentators said it strayed from the marque's traditional designs and also lost part of the brand's identity by being now a battery-powered one, having 5 seats, of course. So that's another point. So you get a few extra children in there, of course, Mr. Pete. But we are, when we think about, that sort of petrol nasal smell that you typically get for sporty vehicles, that seems to have gone. Has it gone all woke?
Well, the thing is, if you were woke and buying an electric car or producing one, you'd want one that was purported at least to be good for the environment. But what we have here is 4 separate electric motors, one for each wheel.
Yes. That's a lot of battery going in.
That's what I'm saying. This is not saving energy. This is producing massive torque. It's got over 1,000 brake horsepower. 1,036 is the figure they've given officially. It's got a 0 to 62 miles per hour acceleration. So great, it does it in 2.5 seconds. Couldn't quite believe it. Couldn't get it out. So that's not trying to save money by saving energy. That's using the particular characteristics of electric motors to produce startling performance, which I'm all in favor of.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting about
I don't think it's gone woke. I think it's in line with the Ferrari in terms of speed. As to whether such a heavy car can command the name Luce, meaning light, or and whether it will be good in handling around the corners, I don't know. Maybe some great trickery with the suspension will help, and having a separate motor on each wheel means great adjustments can be made by some sort of car computer as you go around the corner, adjusting it so you don't spin off and smash up a £40 million car.
well, well, indeed. But the thing here is what's interesting is this move, this measure to move away from petrol to go to electric. Because ironically, Ferrari's share price dropped the day after the Luce was launched.
Oh,
Now,
mhm.
what's interesting as well is that Ferrari's chief design officer, Flavio Manzoni, said recently in an interview that critics are part of the innovation process, meaning that they track what Ferrari does, but he believed that people will come eventually to appreciate what the Luce is about. Now, I think this we go beyond the model, the basic model that we've talked about, the $40 million model, because when it becomes mass produced, is this going to appeal to a wider audience? Clearly, we're talking about an affluent audience, but is it that maybe they would probably go more for the traditional view? Because when I start to sort of think about e-vehicles, I don't think of them in the same light as those traditional sporty vehicles.
No,
And what's
yeah,
interesting is e-vehicles as well is actually really competing with Tesla, the more elite Elon Musk's type of vehicles
yeah.
that are, and also China's car manufacturers as well. So is it trying to muscle in on this game, or
Uh,
what's the game
well,
plan here?
I don't think muscling in. I think it's sort of having to do it because of the regulations in many countries, including Britain, that new cars have to be electric to drive them on the street. So I think their hand was forced. However, I have to say this: supercars, including ones produced by Ferrari, have for some years now included hybrid vehicles where you would have electric and petrol driven, and using electric motors in this way, you could drive slowly through the street, turn the petrol engine off, and be extremely quiet through the streets of a town. Rather, is what I was trying to say. You could be really quiet, but
Yes.
what it can also do is, as a petrol engine is known for not having a linear progression of torque or power, torque being the force or power that it produces, such that when you're right at the very low end, when you're starting from zero and starting off to go fast, or you're going quiet and going slow rather than suddenly want to speed up, it takes a little bit for an engine to get all the power that it needs. So you have the acceleration isn't great to start with, then it kicks in. An electric motors to have that interesting capacity to have linear progression in acceleration because the torque starts straight away from zero, and so you can put electric motors in to fill in the gaps, if you like, where
Yeah.
the petrol motor isn't able to produce the maximum torque. It's already been part of the experience of people who own supercars, and people who, like myself, who don't own one, but take a look at them and see what they're like and what the performance is like, and watch them and think, what was that Bible verse again about? about not commenting? And that well, they've already introduced it as part of the design. So now having just electric, I don't think it is as big a departure as it might have been because they've already been using it in their technology to produce these uh, uh, much better performance, particularly starting from scratch.
Well, I think that we know that Ferraris are often regarded as some of the elite in the sport car market,
Mm,
and of course
mm,
commands the highest prices at car auctions. Now, interestingly, if you're going to get a vehicle like that, I mean, surely you'd want to sort of put it through its paces. But if you're buying it in certain countries like Britain, there's a speed limit, and so
mm,
unless
yes.
maybe you go on to Germany's autobahn, where there is in
Mm,
some cases no limit, you're not going to get the full benefit. And particularly if you're just going to Tesco's car park, I mean, I would be a
mm.
little bit worried about sticking a $40 million car
Yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
bashed by
That's right.
a
Leaving it in
shopping
Tesco's,
trolley.
and I'm gonna put a stick my neck out here and say there probably isn't that much storage space. Although with you've got the seats if you haven't brought anyone with you where you can put your
That's true.
shopping on and put your bottle of milk on the back there. But yeah, I think the thing is with such high performance cars, often they're bought just for the status and there's no intention of driving them at that speed. Um, with some cars that are high performance but very small, light, and agile, it's brilliant taking them round on a track, and so you can organise track days. But for this sort of car, which I would say is mostly as sort of a grand tour, driving briskly along roads. Yeah, you'd want to take. You've got to take it into Europe and go and find a road where you can do the speed, or just pay the fines.
Oh, well, there is that as well, of course. Now, as we sort of conclude,
Don't do that. We're
interestingly,
not
don't
advising
do
that.
that. Definitely do not do that. But here's the thing, because Sotheby's, who actually sold the vehicle at auction, said that the vehicle itself, the Luce, marked an unbeatable opportunity to own the first production car of its kind for Ferrari. Well, that is the case. Now, here's the other thing. Of course, if you are the buyer and you are somebody who is really invested in this unique vehicle, if we see you out and about, you'll certainly be talk of the town.